Between the two of them.
The inside of Coates.
Watkins gets too heavily involved.
And that's Whitehead and Coates.
Hello everybody, welcome back. It's round 7 of the Virtual Reality Racing Club touring car head-to-head. And yep, thank you very much indeed to Becky for covering for me last week. Yep, I lost my voice, which was everybody's ideal situation. And I'm back to normal as can be. But Becky, thank you for keeping a watch over things and doing a super job with the interviews, which I've been nagging you to do for ages, but we got you to do them, and well done. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much, Richard. It was, yeah, definitely learning on my toes there. But no, good to be able to really step in and give a bit of sort of commentary, not quite fully commentary, more an interview last week, but great to be able to speak to the drivers. And just pleased you're back as well to take the reins back.
Oh, thank you very much. And also to Ian Danaher, who's doing the business, as you can see from the graphic, as clerk of the course with Rich Hayden, and our broadcast director is Steve Allen, who'll be keeping up with all the action over the course of our penultimate event of this current campaign. Already looking forward to the World Endurance League. We've been sort of buzzing messages around that. But as you can see, we've made it all the way to Italy today, 5th of May, Mugello in Italy. Not a circuit I'm actually familiar with, to be perfectly honest. And I know that Reeve, maybe yourself, Becky, might know a little bit more about the track than I do. And then next week, we're off to Spain for the final event, round 8 at Ricardo, Tormo. And I can't remember if we've got a break before World Endurance League, but that is obviously following up after that. Here we go. So, 2nd of June is the first one for the World Endurance League, as if by magic. You can see we've got a really interesting format. We've discussed it over the last few weeks as to what's coming up on the Endurance League. We are talking to a couple of sports car drivers as well about having some co-coms. We will have, hopefully going to have Becky and Reeve for a number of rounds, but just a couple of guests I think that we might be lining up as well to bring some sort of real world sports car knowledge into a couple of the events, which will be fun. We'll see which ones that those guys can do. I won't ping any names out yet just in case they can't make it, but looking forward to that. As you can see, a full 8-round schedule, incredibly taking us up to the 21st of July, which I think in my terms of the touring car schedule is well into the mid-season break. So a little bit weird to be talking about mid-season break when we haven't even had the second event of the real world season just yet. But some great circuits there. Very much looking forward to those events, which will all be broadcast live, and as you can see, 2 dropped rounds there. So apart from the last round, but it does open things up a little bit more in terms of drivers being able to take some time away. And we've got a number of drivers away this evening, which we'll come on to as we move through the coverage this evening. Championship table, it's reasonably close really at the top. Jack Smith and Oliver Gibson, the 2 teammates, 1 and 2. And not a huge gap, probably only a one race gap between the pair of them at the moment, with Andy Dorman in the bronze medal position right now. We've Gabe Norse in 4th, Andy Carroll 5th, and Scott Bugner and Craig Curtis. Then it's Ollie Atkins, Alex Forster, and the top 10 completed by Kieran Haynes. So Swift Cooper doing well. Sam Walton is 11th, Christian Gillian. Christian not on duty this evening, he is away very sadly. Same too with Chris Blakey. Kenny Press, yep, Kenny's in the mix, that's pretty good. He's 14th from Paul Laramie. Then we have Lee Pearcey, another driver absent this evening, sadly. Rich Hayden is here. Cat Potter was testing earlier on as well, and he's in the pit currently. Jack Dickerson 19th, and Caden Kirk wrapping up our top 20. Daniel Heaps, Robert Shepherd, Callum Enstone and John Jones to complete the points scorers in the championship as we come into our penultimate round. As you can see, Callum and John having retired from the campaign just a few weeks ago, having done a couple of events but not taking part in any more. In terms of the team standings, we've got DK Power, understandably 1 and 2. 1 and 2 in the championship, therefore leading the team standings from Team Carbug. Swift Cooper with Kieran Haynes and Ollie Atkins in 3rd, so they're giving everyone a run for the money as well. Hyro is 4th from Eden Garage Motorsport. Shake and Bake 6th from Automac. VRRC with Lee. Rich Hayden, a solo entry this weekend, so he's going to have to, I knew I'd get a weekend out of it. He's going to have to work hard on his own without Lee Piercy. Alex Foster, always a solo entrant. He's 9th, and Sam Walton, our independent, wrapping up top 10. So just a quick summary in terms of what I missed last week. Well, I said I didn't actually miss it because I was listening in and very much enjoyed the coverage that we had. And the gold medal last week going to Scott Bugner, with Oliver Gibson taking 2nd position ahead of Jack Smith, with Oliver Gibson also getting his first driver of the round. So at the moment we haven't doubled up on drivers of the round, but that might change this evening depending on who does what. But they're the drivers that took the honours last week. 2 Beamers and an Audi on the top step of the podium. I was really looking forward, I've got to say, to last week, so it was a great shame not to be able to work on the Interlagos meeting. But those of you who tuned in the week before will know that Reeve bailed me out on the interviews as I was struggling a bit back then as well. So that's our top 3 and driver of the round for last week. So Mugello circuit coming up, and I know this is one that a lot of the drivers and indeed probably viewers are looking forward to. And we're going to take our customary hot lap with Jack Smith, the championship leader, as your guide on the hot lap. Just under 2 minutes per lap around here. The others will be hoping to get close to that over the course of the evening's racing, and we'll see what happens over the course of the three. Remember, if you hadn't thought about it, the format this evening is the top 10 in the championship reversed for race number 1. There's a little bit of debate going on about how we're going to do the World Endurance League at the moment, but by and large I think it will be similar. But we'll wait and see. I know Rich is going to have a chat with us at the end of the evening about the World Endurance League. But looking forward to race 1. Championship alive. It is advantage Jack Smith at the moment, Becky, which I guess we all get used to at VRRC. But the likes of Ollie Gibson, Andy Dorman and Gabe Norse, not that far behind, so there's still plenty to play for. Yeah,
definitely a battle of the brothers, hopefully ensuing for the next couple of rounds, which will be exciting. And hopefully, I don't obviously want them to get too close and take each other out, but I want a bit of fight between the pair of them. It's kind of what I've been waiting to happen since I've joined VRRC. So it's like, yeah, it's been inevitable. And again, they always big each other up. So. And I don't think there's going to be any love lost if anything does happen, drastically. But I'm looking forward to the battle we might have between them. Again, they're probably both team players, so they just want to top the team standards they've said in previous interviews and stuff. So, but yeah, I'm hoping we'll get a bit of a fight. Also, Andy Dorman, he's been lying quite low. He's got podiums and stuff, but he's always been quite kind of sneaky. I think I called him last week. Been putting in some good performances. Good points, and he's not far away. So you've got to be mindful. Actually, if the two brothers get tangled, and then Andy Dorman comes through, then it could be another change. And so all to play for in these next couple of rounds, especially like we always say, the last round can't be dropped.
Yeah, it's very close, isn't it? Yeah, Andy's only 5 points down on Ollie Gibson at the moment. When you think that Andy Dorman, as you said, Becky, has scored so consistently over the course of the campaign, I think Pascani probably the one that he drops. If my maths is correct, but he scored so very well. To only be 5 points down on Ollie Gibson is quite remarkable. Ollie, of course, actually doesn't drop any, does he? Because he didn't do Pascani, so I think that was one where he was at home for Easter holidays. Seems like a while ago now, doesn't it? Easter holidays and stuff like that. But we've got 1 minute 30 to go before the start of the race. Top 10 then. I'll reverse with Kieran Haynes, 10th in the championship at the moment, starting on pole. Alex Forster will line up alongside him. Then it's Ollie Atkins and Scott Bugner. They've got a gap, which is trying to work out who's not there. A couple of gaps a little bit further back. So a slightly lower entry this evening with the drivers that we mentioned away. Lee Pearcey, Chris Blakey, Christian Gillian, Robert Shepherd. Not with us as well for varying reasons. Hopefully be back with us next week. And we look forward to sort of going out of the Touring Car Challenge in a blaze of glory. But it is very much a quality field that we've got. It's going to be just as hard, I think, for anyone to get into the reverse section for race 2, which has been my focus, I think, over the last couple of rounds, so you can make their way up into the top 10 from the reverse section. Kenny Press, you can see, is 11th. Paul Laramie, then Rich Hayden, Cat Potter, Jack Dickerson at the back of the field, and they'll all be keen to try and make a little bit of progress. So excited for our first race of the evening here, and just around about 10 seconds to go. Lighting sequence already up and displayed. We now have that Toka weekends as well, courtesy of British F4. I can't remember if I've mentioned that before on our broadcast here, but the lights will go out and we are ready to go racing at Mugello. Kieran Haynes and Alex Forster. Wherever you look, it's close stuff, and the two brothers getting stuck in, not as far back as they have been over the course of previous rounds, but it's Kieran Haynes that leads them down into turn 1, the right-hander for the first time. Alex Forster in P2 is passed by Ollie Atkins, gets his nose into second place, and now passed by Gabe Norse. So it's Haynes, Norse and Atkins, followed by Scott Bugner in P4. Bugner trying to weave his way through the inside, and already we've got Gibson and Smith. Jack Smith has got ahead of Oliver Gibson, and he's already knocking on the door of the top 4, but a good clean start, and we should be in for a good 20 minutes here, Becky.
Yeah, all going fairly smoothly through these first couple of chicanes. It will get interesting as we're coming up to this downhill right of Casanova. again, too early a throttle. We're going to potentially see some spinners, as we've just seen somebody go off. I think that was Alex Forster just off, and Andy Dorman maybe off in the kind of forward view. So luckily nobody collected them as they've rejoined track, but it's kind of cleared the noise. I was going to say for Scott, because that's who I could see out the front, but actually Gabriel Norse is in front of him as well, so he's had a cracking start. So nice gap between himself and Scott, and then obviously Scott's got a bit of a gap as well to the following pack that we seem to have a nice huddle of at the moment.
Yeah, the Hop Caverners having a little bit of a battle at the moment, aren't they? It's Andy Carroll trying to get between the two brothers, which he does on the inside. So Oliver Gibson isn't, I don't think, going to give this battle that you wanted to see between himself and Jack Smith. As we look back from Ollie Atkins, and we just saw Jack really working hard there. He's being given a good old workout here, is Jack Smith. Up into, I beg your pardon, it's Oliver Gibson, isn't it, behind? So Ollie being given the workout here with Andy Carroll down behind him. And Ollie has recovered and now just manages to sneak up the inside. They have a little bit of virtual paint trading, and Gibson can't quite get through. And he'll have to, as they tick off the first lap, have to have another go. Norse from Bugner, Smith not that far behind, and Gabriel Norse will be keen to try and get away. When was Gabe Norse's last win? Just looking through, I think it was Pascani, wasn't it? So again, a round that I didn't do. But making the most of a really good, efficient early start here, Norse, and building out the early lead to 2.5 seconds as we watch Atkins and Gibson. Ollie makes a little mistake, runs wide. Oliver Gibson goes through. Andy Carroll will take 5th position as well. And, well, they get a little bit of contact there. Ian Danaher already with some work to do later on in the week.
Yeah, it always tends to seem to be a little bit busy for Ian after these race events. Again, typical sort of touring car, a bit of scrubbing and here and there, but then again another couple of cars off there. I don't know if that was Andy Dorman and Alex Forster, so they'll hopefully recover and get back on track. I was obviously not surprised, because it probably wouldn't have been a sensible idea. You saw obviously Ollie Gibson tucked behind Ollie Watkins on the start-finish straight, not quite fancying the idea of going around the outside on the first corner. There's quite a lot of sweeping corners where I think, again, from all my knowledge that I've had being on the sim the last week or so, you can lose a lot of times around these sweeping ones that we're seeing them go around now, just because of how long they are. Everywhere else seems quite fast, and you can have your throttle all the way down for a fair few of the corners, and so it's more kind of about your bravery. And we see Jack being brave here, going for a nice dive on the inside, see if he can retain the place as he comes out, but he's got the kind of the inside line, the tighter line, so hopefully he gets enough drive out of this corner to stay in front of Scott. But obviously Scott's going to battle back on this start finish straight, and is either pop it out to the left and go around the outside if he's feeling really brave, or will he try to tuck it on the inside? A little bit of a bump there as well to just get him to hurry up a little bit.
Yeah, Scott won't take prisoners. Elbows out, I think, is the phrase that he normally uses. I think we probably put the curse of the commentator on Andy Dorman, haven't we? Because we were sort of talking about how consistent and fast that he had been over the course of the campaign so far. And he's right at the back, isn't he, at the moment, of the 14 drivers that we've still got running. Kieran Haynes is showing as a retiree in the pits at the moment, down in 15th, which is a great pity. But apologies to Andy Dorman, 3rd in the championship. This is going to hand the initiative to the driver leading this one, Gabe Norse, 4th in the championship, only 1 point behind Andy Dorman. And of course that means that points absolutely crucial for Gabe Norse championship-wise to not only get into the top 3, but maybe by beating Oliver Gibson here. If he beats Gibson 3 times this evening, he could find himself up in P2 and ready to take the battle to Jack Smith, who now is in that 2nd position and trying to hunt down Gabe Norse out front. As we look at Sam Walton, he's done a very good job here to get into the top 6 from outside the reverse grid zone. So really good. Race 1, been aided and abetted a little bit by a couple of cars going off, but let's take nothing else away from Sam getting up into the reverse section. So 6th position for him at the moment. Ollie Atkins started 8th and is now 7th. Paul Laramie, Jack Dickinson, and Jack Dickerson, beg your pardon, and Alex Forster wrapping up the top 10. That changes again now. Kenny Press going into P10. and he again has come into the reverse grid section as we look at Bugner now coming under pressure from Oliver Gibson. So let's see what Ollie can do. He's got his brother in the distance and he's going to again have a look here, but Bugner maintaining the defensive line down into the right-hander, and Ollie's going to have to go around the outside. Side by side they go here. Is he going to go for a late cutback? No, he isn't. He's still going to try and brave it out. And this is great racing between the pair of them side by side around turn 1 and 2, and Gibson read that superbly well, because that has earned him the inside run now and also third position. Good stuff from Ollie there.
I feel like I almost got my wish then, and obviously mentioned it and said, oh, it didn't go around the outside, and he just goes and does it the next time round. Lovely move that. Managed to, like you say, stick around the outside and then still hit perfect points during that chicane exit as well. So, yeah, lovely done. Already created a bit of a gap between himself and Scott now, so he'll be pushing on. And again, I'd say hopefully going to fight his brother, but I don't think these brothers ever fight, do they?
They tend not to. I think we probably have seen them race, but I think they know better than to get overly stuck in, particularly where there's maybe P1 and P2 at stake in the championship. So, you know, they do respect each other, which is probably the key part of it. As we watch Kenny Press looking to try and close down with Alex Forster here. Jack Dickerson back in 11th. Rich Hayden up into 12th place now. Andy Dorman's managed to make up one place now ahead of Cat Potter. Cat in 14th place at the moment. You get a good shot here of some of the undulations of this track as well. Did you say you've been doing a bit of sim work around here, Becky?
Yeah, I always like to try to jump on the sim for a few laps, just to familiarise myself with it. Luckily, Mugello is one of mine and probably my partner's favourite tracks to kind of have a few laps round. Like you say, with the elevation changes, it's quite almost roller coaster-esque. So yeah, we quite enjoy this one. Again, not one that many people see too often. Not popular in kind of like Formula One, which I suppose a lot of people. Again, it's got millions of people that watch it, so it's not as familiar. But no, it's a great track to go around. A lot of fun, but very frustrating, like I say. And that's no, it's not. It's Alex Forster on. Is that on Penny Press?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to work out who's who at the moment. It's very similar because I believe Kenny Press is teammates with Craig Curtis. So I looked at it and I was like, I'm sure that's advantages are kind of a. Yeah, I've seen it on Craig's car, so I was getting confused, but I was like, Craig's not even here this evening, so that sums that up. But yeah, no, Alex is just staying out in front at the moment, with Kenny still pushing on, trying to get past him. But yeah, no, like I say, great track, a lot of fun to go around, but I always try to get in the sim a little bit. Not quite brave enough to actually go on the server with the drivers.
I was going to ask that.
Cause more
that was going to be my. That's going to be, nobody would mind. I mean, it's not like you're not doing as many laps and races as these guys anyway, but I'm sure nobody would mind, and I'm very sure no one would take the mick at all. So
I'd probably just be a blockade all the time. They'd be like, why is there a car just parked in the middle of the track all the time? Oh, it's Becky again. Don't worry about it. Just go round her.
You might surprise yourself. And also, it'd be mind you, we like having you in the comms box rather than racing. So there you go.
Surprisingly, I think I might be a little bit better suited for talking a lot rather than driving around a track.
I'm sure you'd be good at either. As we ride on board with Paul Laramie trying to close down on Sam Walton. So Walton making some, as I say, really good early progress here, and that's the kind of thing I think we probably need to be looking out for. Driver of the round, see whether he can maintain a slot in the top 10 over the course of getting into the top 10 for this one, getting into the reverse section for the start of race 2, and then maybe maintaining that. And if he can keep a top 10 over the course of the evening, could be in contention for that. But if that isn't a kiss of death for him, I don't know what is, as we watch Paul Laramie still trying to hunt him down, back with the press battle at the moment, the press gang, if you want to call it that, 10th and 9th position. Alex Forster still there at the moment. We were with, interesting actually, I was with watching the Legends at the weekend at Brands Hatch, and the car that Alex drove at Donington for the touring car weekend on Saturday wasn't actually there. I noticed that it's up for sale now, which is a pity. I'm guessing that Alex's dad isn't going to splash out on another Legends car, which is a little bit of a pity, but Daniel Pooley selling his Legends car. And around the paddock, there's loads of talk about the various championships that have run with VRRC, because Charlie Devlin, who you might remember from the Scottish Legends Cars Esports Championship that we did, was there. And I met Charlie for the first time in the pit lane on the Saturday last weekend. And had a good natter with his dad then as well, and I was saying to them, we really need Charlie Devlin to be here and racing with the likes of Gabe Norse that he races with elsewhere. I think he didn't fancy the touring car one. He certainly did a grand job on the Scottish Legends in the Mystery Machine livery, which many of our regular viewers will remember. As Kenny has another look here at Alex Forster, so Kenny Press trying his best to get stuck in. But the point I was coming to make, as Ollie Atkins drops back, so that's a shame. Ollie Atkins down to 10th, but still in the top 10, is that there was a lot of talk about the various championships that the VRRC run and the way it's run, and everyone that's been in it that and watching it, thoroughly enjoying the racing. So there was plenty of chat, and I think it's probably about time that we maybe had a word with Will Gibson now about running a national Legends Cars esports series over the winter, and maybe have a word with him, particularly we've done the Scottish one, because we can have Scottish rounds in a national championship over the winter. But it's thank Will for inviting me along to Brands anyway. That's me self-indulgent bit out of the way. Kenny now and Alex busy dicing over 8th place. It's Alex Forster still there at the moment. Kenny Press, the master of the liveries, of course, and Ollie Atkins is coming back here as well. So Ollie's far from giving up here, and maybe just taking a little bit of a breather, keeping watching brief on these two, and he'll suss out what they're doing and be able to sort them out. He's had a little moment then, drop back a bit, just as I said he was coming on song again, Ollie Atkins. So maybe not as much practice around this circuit as some of the others. Andy Dorman up into 11th, by the way. So Dorman up into the nearly up into top 10.
Yeah, he'll keep pushing, hopefully, to try to get that 10th finish, because at least that puts him on pole for the next one, so he can kind of put this race maybe behind him, and go for a win on the next race with obviously a better starting position. Hopefully stays out of trouble. Going to Kenny and Alex that are battling away. They've literally been bumper to bumper like every single lap, so it might get to a point where that gets a little bit sketchy. So hopefully they keep it nice and clean, and we don't have any major incidents there, but they are so close a lot of times coming into corners. Gabriel Norse has just been flying. Just quick mention to Charlie Devlin as well. That livery was amazing. Loved that. That made me feel like a child again. But again, he came in and he just seemed to kind of, again, he does a bit of sim racing anyway, so no wonder he literally got onto the server with these guys and was up placing on podiums and giving everybody a run for their money. So it was great to see him. Shame he's not come back for some of these rounds, but obviously you like some things, you don't like others. But Legends is definitely on the list for me to actually get to and see in person at some point this year, hopefully. I'm making a little bucket list of all the stuff I need to actually get out and do this year, racing wise, to go see.
Yeah, make sure you do. I've been to all first three of the National Legends rounds this year and had a great time at all of them. But unfortunately, everything else clashes now. Thankfully I've got work, so for the other rounds, so I won't get to see them again for this year. But really great championship, and Phil Cooper, who's run it for 30 odd years, having a sort of farewell tour. He's helping Will and his wife Janine sort of hand over for running it in the future. But it was really lovely at the weekend to have a proper catch up with Phil, and he's a very interesting guy, the fellow that brought Legends over here. So Andy Dorman now up ahead of Ollie Atkins. Andy Dorman, this is a good recovery here. So this is going to, has Andy Dorman had a driver of the round? He hasn't yet, has he? So we've got two potential DORs already for me, Becky, in terms of Sam Walton, who's got up to P5, and Andy Dorman for his recovery. So that we've already put the kiss of death on Andy Dorman once, so we'll just do it again and say that he could be in line for an early driver of the round nomination.
I wonder if we say it enough times, it counteracts it. So because we've said it twice now, maybe that vanishes any bad luck. He did manage to get past Ollie Atkins briefly, and then had to kind of yield a bit and kind of sat back, and then managed to get him again as Ollie again ran a little bit wide. So he managed to pick him off then and get past. Jack's obviously closed down this gap massively. With now all of a sudden he's looking like he's lining up his attack on probably the last few laps we've got with 4 minutes to go. He's probably thinks I've got plenty of time to be able to get first position. So we'll see what happens with these two, which again is always a good battle between these two.
It is, yeah, Gabe Norse and Jack Smith. So P4 in the championship, leading the race from the championship leader. We do need Ollie Gibson with him as well, as you said, to be scrapping. We need Andy Dorman up the front, and we need Charlie Devlin back to have another outing in the mystery machine. But Jack Smith really has caught up quickly here. But he'll know now. Is it going to be? I wasn't quite sure where they were when they crossed the line. It was around about 4 minutes left, which is definitely 2 laps. Possibly they'll get an extra lap out of it. So it's going to be nip and tuck, I think, on the timing. But Jack Smith now, by the look of it, Becky, has got time to try and suss out where there might be a weak point, if there is such a thing for Gabe Norse. But the key thing, hopefully, now is we'll see a good race between the pair of them.
Yeah, it'll be sat behind, just kind of lining up, seeing, okay, right, I can maybe capitalise on this exit or that entry where you're a little bit slower, as he looks like he's going to try it round here. And as he, oh no, just going to tuck back in behind, as we've got our kind of, just trying to work out, coming up to Arabiata 1 and 2. So again, another big sweep in one. Most cars, again, full throttle all the way through. Oh no, sorry, we're on the last sort of tight corner before the last couple of chicanes coming up to the end of the lap. With how quick these guys push, though, it wouldn't surprise me if, again, you're saying 2 laps. We'll probably end up getting another 3-4 laps with how quick they seem to push and keep pushing towards the end. Jack's currently got the fastest lap, so he'll be hoping that's enough to get him past Gabe on these last lap or 2.
Here we come, yeah, across the line. So, yeah, Jack's hot lap was a 1:57, so I reckon we've got 2 more laps to go. And that is probably good news for Jack Smith. Gabe was certainly having to look in his mirrors now. And let's see how this one pans out as he come into turn 1. Jack, see if he can do an Ollie Gibson and hang it around the outside. Gabe Norse maybe got a little bit more grip here. Is he going to be able to do it? They keep it clean, to be fair. Absolutely. Oh, no, they don't. There's contact between the two. Big sideways moment. Joining the drifting championship is Jack Smith. And loses out and loses second position to his brother Ollie. Now we've got your wish of the 2 brothers who are going to go head to head now.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. Ollie probably feels bad, even though he wasn't involved. But no, but obviously gutted for his brother for not being able to pull the move off. But I don't think he'll kick him whilst he's down, will he? I don't know. He might do. He might think, right, actually, no, he's weak. I can outscore him, outpace him. But no, Jack looks like he doesn't want to settle for third. He wants his second back at least. But they might try to push on. We've probably not got enough time for them to mount another attack on Gabe, which he'll be sighing a big sigh of relief there. Hopefully it's got his adrenaline pumping a bit, because he's always so laid back at his interviews and just kind of like, oh yeah, another win, it's fine. No, and again, it just seems to get all kind of exciting towards the end, and no, he's still laid back. I think he was a little bit more excited when we had the very close finish between himself and Jack. That was a definite definition of a photo finish, that from a couple of rounds ago.
It's always good to talk to them. As you say, they are generally pretty calm, and Gabe is as well when he takes a win. I'm guessing there'll be a look at the contact, but to my mind, I don't think anything. I couldn't see anything particularly untoward there. As we cross the line, Gabe Norse will, with 13 seconds remaining, get 1 more lap, and he'll be relieved, if nothing else, that the pressure is off, with the 2 hop caverners right behind him as well. So Gibson from Smith, still Scott Bugner in P4, Sam Walton maybe with the hard charger award, which is what they tend to give out in touring cars, isn't it? Most places gained, up into 5th place for Paul Laramie, Andy Carroll, Kenny Press 8th. It's got Andy Dorman between himself and Alex Forster now, as you watch the 2 brothers still getting stuck in. So 1 more lap for Jack Smith to extend the championship lead over his brother. And I'm just wondering, I can't remember what the points are for first, second, third. I should have them written down somewhere, but I don't have them to hand. So it is going to be nip and tuck anyway for second and third in the championship, particularly with Jack Smith now putting in the extra work to try and get back into P2. So A good battle between the brothers here. Let's see how close they get in these closing stages.
Yeah, it looks like Jack might just go for a charge on the finish line, see if he can nick second place. Then Andy Dorman as well. He's managed to get up to P8 while you were running through that order. He decided to change it again for you, so up into P8 again. A good, like you say, a good charge from Andy. And as I mentioned earlier, just seems to always be there in the background. So definitely somebody you can't rule out for anything. It'll put him third for the next race. So again, a good starting position. Hopefully, again, a better sort of start for him next race. And again, hopefully we've not jinxed him too much with all the praise at the beginning, like you mentioned, and he'll actually show why again, even though he already has with making it up the grid. But show why we've kind of been singing his praises at the start for the performances he's been putting in, week out.
Across the line goes Gabe Norse to take the win. Well done, Gabe. And it is a drag race for P2, and it's Oliver Gibson that just gets it from Jack Smith. Could have been a lot worse for Jack Smith there. He lost the one place, but comes back. Oh, he's challenging for the lead, ended up in third place ahead of Scott Bugner in fourth, Sam Walton fifth from Paul Laramie. Andy Carroll will be next in seventh position from Andy Dorman, and then Kenny Press, Alex Forster will grab pole position for race 2. 11th goes to Ollie Atkins with Rich Hayden in 12th. Jack Dickerson is next up from Kat Potter. Kat completing our finishers as the last couple of drivers go across the line, and we'll have our first top 3 interviews in just a moment. If you're not busy on Saturday this week and you're sort of in the northern half of the country, make sure you get to Alton Park, because the Super Classic Formula Fords are there and they've got a huge grid again. I was chatting to Alan Bowles in the weekend at the GT meeting at Brands, and he won't thank me for sort of bigging him up, I know, but you know, a couple of years ago that championship was not struggling for numbers, but it wasn't anywhere near as strong as it is now, and that's due to the work that he's doing. And you know, you've gone to Alton Park probably and had, you know, 12 to 16 cars. They've got 30 cars going up to Alton Park this weekend, so you know, well done to Alan on superb effort. And we were talking about what we're going to do for the next Formula Ford Esports Championship towards the end of the year, so really excited about that. But let's get on to our current happenings and catch up with Jack Smith. Jack, well done on P3, very nearly a win. Talk us through what happened.
Yeah, no, it was a good race for myself. I think from the pace we have here is crazy. So yeah, made the most of that and pumped in best laps of the weekend in like nearly every single lap. So we were flying. So I'm super happy with the pace. But yeah, no, I'm not really sure what happened there. I thought I was alongside, but yeah, we'll have to see what the stewards say about that. I'm not really sure what happened, to be honest. I thought I'd turned in relatively early, but maybe not early enough. But yeah, again, we'll have to see what happens. I'm not going to make any comments this early on because you never know who's at fault when it comes to this sort of stuff. So yeah, bit of a shame really. I was looking forward to a battle with Gabe, but yeah, it would have been a battle right to the end, I think. So yeah, but it is what it is. We move on to race 2, and yeah, we keep our head held high and try to get as many points as we can, I think. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you got, I think it's around about 50-point lead anyway, and Gabe will sort of claw a couple back there, but lead's pretty much intact, isn't it? And then we thought Becky was kind of hoping for you and Ollie having a battle, which you did in the closing stages.
Yeah, the car felt a bit strange. I think I might have got some damage or something. I don't know. It felt a bit weird on right-hand turns afterwards, but yeah, I just tried my best to get past Ollie. I had to go in the final corner, which I'm sure Ollie hated. But yeah, I thought I'd try anything just to get past. But yeah, no, you held on to it well. Ollie's got some mega pace around here as well, so yeah, it was never going to be easy. So I tried my best, but yeah, Ollie came away on top on that one. So yeah, well done to him. And yeah, I'm sure there'll be plenty more battles like that to come in the future for sure. So yeah,
that's good. And I suppose you're testing the World Endurance League cars as well on circuits at the moment.
Yes, of course. Yeah, we've done a fair few laps around Le Mans and Silverstone. Yeah, I'm pretty dead set on the BM. I don't really think I have a choice in the matter. But yeah, it'll be good. It's a nice car to drive. It's a bit on the looser end, but it's yeah, I feel like it's the nicest one for me anyway. Out of all of them, I think a few people are going for the Aston, and the three cars we got are three totally different cars, but the pace is like within a few tenths. Like this is between track to track. I reckon it'll swing here and there. So yeah, no, the Endurance League is gonna be amazing. So yeah, if anyone's watching and haven't signed up yet, get yourself signed up because it's gonna be really, really fun.
I need to do it. We were watching the GTs at Brands Hatch at the weekend, and there was very nearly some overtakes in it, I have to say.
Yeah, no, the World Challenge was really good. It was a few incidents, but yeah, it's always good to watch.
Yeah, I wonder whether Brands is kind of a little bit too small for that kind of thing now, because obviously the sort of bigger antiseptic tracks seem to obviously have those for Formula One and for a lot of GT racing. But it was lovely to see and hear the cars at Brands, but I do wonder whether things have developed a little bit too much maybe. But anyway, loads of work for you to do in race 2 still, and that's always the case, isn't it, for Jack Smith? You do well in the races, you get shoved to the back, apart from race 3, so you maybe be off the front in race 3.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. Yeah, we'll well, yeah, race 3 I think we'll be off the front. Yeah, I think it's a combined of the 3 races from the round, I think so. We'll see, but yeah, I think this one same again, really, just trying my best to get through to the front, and then yeah, we'll see what we can do from there.
Excellent. Well done on P3. Sorry about the incident. We'll find out what happens. Obviously, we'll debrief on that next week once Ian and Richard have done their business and reviews. And I'm going to hand over to Becky now to have a word with Ollie. But well done, Jack.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
I should probably actually ask both Jack and Ollie, have you practiced your little kind of sponsor shout out bit yet?
Not really, but we won't have any.
Silence.
Yeah, we're going to be pretty hopeless of that, I think.
Well, I've got faith. You seem quite coordinated when you're racing, so I'm sure you can put something together, guys. So I expect it maybe next week then, or even by the end of this evening, if you don't mind. But just a massive kind of like huge sort of like bow down, that move around the outside of turn 1 around Scott, and then to keep it still on track to get through the first chicane, that was marvellous, I must say. But yeah, talk us through your race. How did you find it? Again, got a lot of pace in the car, more to come?
To be honest, I think that might be it for my pace. I mean, Jack's absolutely flying, so I don't really know what he's doing. But for me, I mean, I'm happy with it. It's not like I'm slow, so I'm happy with the pace. And obviously that move was a sketchy one. I didn't think he was going to grip up, and all of a sudden it just, I don't know, it must have been some sort of groove, and he just held it, and that was all the car, to be honest. Yeah, no, but the car's good, pace is good. Obviously, there's still quite a bit to Jack, but yeah, no, we'll see. Obviously, starting towards the back in this next race, again, means anything can happen, so we will see, I think.
Yeah, well, as long as you don't tangle with your teammate, that's always a good outcome. As I know you've said before, focus on team standings. So all the best, because I think we are running out of time. So sorry it's a short one, but good luck for the next race, and hopefully speak to you a little bit later on.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you, Ollie and Becky. So our winner, Gabe North's 4th win of the campaign. Well done. That was a cracking race. What was your take on the Jack incident?
I haven't reviewed it yet, but I won't make any judgment too early before I see it, I think.
But yeah, quite a cracking race, and you got your head down, got away, and then there was a little bit of a battle, which we expect to see. Touring cars, you know, we've got to have a bit of contact every now and again, haven't we?
Yeah, it's quite difficult not to just door bang with these cars, but yeah, it's usually quite good battling, so I quite enjoy it.
And you've got loads of work to do in race 2, because obviously win means you have to start 10th. Slightly down on numbers with various people being away this evening, but doesn't make it any easier, because it's always 10th, isn't it, for the win?
Yeah, it's always you're always going to be starting 10th, so it's always just a lot of ground that you have to make up during the race. But yeah, it should be a good battle, and hopefully it doesn't go like my race 2 did last week, where I think I had 3 incidents.
Oh, we hope not. We hope not. Points-wise, very, very close, isn't it, in the top 3? I think probably with that one, you maybe just nip back into 3rd place in the standings. So you're probably not that worried about that at the moment. Just got your head down and do it race by race.
Yeah, don't really worry about the points at the moment. Just try and actually do some decent races and get some decent results.
How's life in general, and how are things going outside of VRRC for you at the minute?
It's all going alright at the moment. I mean, I've got my first GCSEs yesterday next week, so yeah, it should be. Hopefully they go alright, but we'll have to see.
I'm sure you find. Do you find it a struggle sort of balancing sim stuff and studies, or are you fairly comfortable with what you do?
I'm quite content with what I do for each, but yeah, it's hard not to try and get on the sim whilst you're studying.
I must admit, it's the balance will vary from person to person. I certainly remember back in the day, you know, trying to balance my commitments. So that was far too long ago. I'm going to put you on the spot very quickly before we go to race 2. Prediction for this one? How far up the order do you reckon you can get?
Hope for the win, but we'll have to see how the race pans out.
Okay, well that should be good. You've got about a minute and a half. Do you do much setup change in between, or do you just leave it?
Usually just throughout practice, try and find a setup that works, and then as long as it's okay for the first race, I'll just continue with it. Nice
one. Well, we've only got about a minute to go, so I'll let you get a little bit of respite time in case you do need to do anything. Well done, Gabe. Great stuff to see you on the top step of the podium, and hopefully we'll have another catch up with you in races 2 and 3 as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations, mate. Well done. Gabe Norse, our race winner. Becky spoke to Ollie Gibson in P2, and it was me with Jack Smith at the start. Both the drivers not really getting into the incident too much. And you can understand that. It'll be reviewed. They haven't had a chance to look back at it, and the officials will. That is very much how it will work out. As we now go to our second race, top 10. Reversed Alex Forster on pole with Kenny Press alongside. Those two guys renewing battle with Andy Dorman in the mix as well. Andy Carroll back in 4th place. Then it's Paul Laramie, followed by Sam Walton, Scott Bugler, Jack Smith, Oliver Gibson and Gabe Norse, obviously having had the win, starting in 10th position. Outside of our top 10, Ollie Atkins with Rich Hayden 12th, Jack Dixon 13th and Pat Potter in 14th place. And looks like we've lost Kieran Haynes, which is a pity. Hope Kieran is feeling okay as the clock has finally ticked down and we are underway. Let's see what they can do here. So again, we had the top 10 reversed in the championship for race 1, and a little bit of a sort out again as it's Alex Forster that leads Kenny Press down into turn 1. It's very close this time, and hold on to your hats here. 2, 3 wide as they go into turn 1. Kenny Press was trying the outside line. Alex Forster gets the better of it as they come into turn 3. So it's Forster from Smith, Andy Dorman, then Kenny Press, Andy Carroll. We've lost Oliver Gibson's come through into 6th place, and so a few bits of change around over the first couple of corners, but an incredible launch by Jack Smith, who comes up into P2. And I was looking at the timing tower, looking to see where Jack Smith was. I think he was outside the top 10. He's actually come through into P2, and that Becky is determination, I think, after 3rd place in race 1.
Yeah, he wants more points, doesn't he? I'm surprised it actually went as well as it did, because I think as we were coming through the first couple of chicanes, he was very much boxed. He had, I think, a car in front, 2 cars either side, and then a car behind as well. So he was obviously hoping everybody went round the corner how he was expecting them to be, and not get a full-on box like police situation on the go, because that's never ideal. As just trying to, that was Kenny Press just having a bit of a moment there, so dropping back. Don't know if there was any contact to that or if it was just more kind of driver error. Again, cold tyres, getting warmed up on these first couple of laps, so can't quite be as probably on it as you want to be, which is always frustrating when you've got cold tyres. As Jack's now gone for the lead, with Ollie just a couple of cars behind, so he's got Alex Forster and Andy Dorman in between the pair of them at the moment, so he'll be hoping to maybe do some more outside moves around them, and get past them. But Jack's going to hopefully open up this gap now, and make the most out of everybody squabbling behind him.
Yeah, his brother's trying to get on terms with him, so we could have another brother battle going on here at the moment, but it's Jack Smith down across the line ahead of Alex Forster. Gibson with his nose into P3 at the moment, and teeing up the inside here might be space as they head down into turn 1. Has he got this one done? He's hard on the brakes and just gets his wheels over the curb, still stays in 4th place at the moment. Dorman and Forster, what a bunch of racing they've had so far, and still really battling hard. And this is going to maybe scupper Oliver Gibson. Coming up is Gabe Norse, really efficient opening lap from Gabe Norse as well, from 10th up into 5th, and trying to pick them off one by one. Gabe here is almost the epitome of Jack Smith as normal. You normally see Jack sort of picking his way through slowly and carefully and stealthily working his way through the order, and it was Jack that was maybe a little bit more take a few more risks perhaps in the early few corners of this one to get through into the lead from Andy Dorman. And Gabe Norse trying to pick his way through here as well. 5th place at the moment, that's going to convert to 4th up the inside of Alex Forster. Little wide run from Ollie Gibson, that will scrub off a bit of speed, and Gabe Norse will be all over him, but Gabe here will be mindful of the time that he's losing to Jack Smith. Let's see whether Forster can fight back. Oliver Gibson again running a little bit tighter over the curbs there ahead of the 4th place car of Gabe Norse, but it's Jack Smith from Andy Dorman in P2. See what Andy can do now, whether he can close back down on Jack Smith. If they can all perhaps work together, we could end up with a real close 4 here. Maybe Alex Forster and Andy Carroll could get in the mix as well. Sam Walton in 10th, so still inside the top 10 is Sam Walton, with Jack Dickerson 11th from Cat Potter, who's ahead of both Rich Hayden and Ollie Atkins.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a Rich Hayden going off in the background a little while ago. I know he always loves when we point stuff like that out, so I'll make sure to always get it in. But it was just quite a vibrant red and blue car, so without having to say any names, I think it was him having a little bit of a moment. So yeah, good to see, back on track. Everything's fine. We do keep seeing Kieran Haynes trying to reconnect and stuff, so I don't know if there's a bit of an internet issue there. Which is always frustrating when you're trying to do any laps on the sim. Internet is always kind of helpful. I've still got this gaggle of cars. Andy Carroll is battling away with Alex Forster, giving Gabe a little bit of a breather, not quite right behind him anymore. He'll still be aware that they're there, and it won't take a lot for them to close that gap up if they stop arguing. But he's probably got his eyes focused on Ollie now for that first step on the podium to hopefully kind of work his way up. Being mindful, yeah, he's outscored them at the moment in the first race, but obviously we've still got this race and the next one to go. So I did like how again he's like, oh yeah, even though it's the penultimate round, I'm not thinking about points, I'm not thinking about the championship. It just is what it is. So I like that there's not actually no need to panic yourself about it. We'll just see how these races go, and then maybe start to kind of panic a bit more towards the probably like the last 5 minutes of the last race in this series. He'll probably think, okay, I need to think about points now.
Yeah, they might. I think drivers do tend to have their finger on what's going on. Paul Laramie busy trying to chase down on Kenny Press, and Scott Bugner getting stuck into Alex Forster. So Scott's been probably not really, it's more of a Beamer track than an Audi one, this one, on the results that we've got so far. Jack Smith still out front. The lead's gone out though, 1.5 seconds Smith to Dorman. Oliver Gibson still there and quite close attendance, 6/10 down on Andy Dorman. Gabe Norse right with them as well. And Scott Bugner needs to try and close down on Andy Carroll. Be surprised if we don't see a a Bugner podium. Although one would argue now he wasn't really up with the all of the top runners in race 1. He's not really close enough to get too much in the mix on the on top point scorers in top points scores to get near the front in the grid for the third race at the moment. But he's working as hard as he can, and he's seemingly, I think, dealt with Alex Forster now. So Forster in P7. Here's the view back. Alex has got Kenny Press still with him as well. So those two still battling really hard. From Paul Laramie, who's done well to get up into the reverse section as well. So Paul Laramie scoring quite strongly in this one as well. Scott will be having a look at this view to some extent, as well as maybe looking ahead to Andy Carroll immediately ahead of him, but with a couple of seconds to try and close up. They're not going to work together, that's for sure. As Smith and Dorman, the gap goes out to 1.5, 1.6, depending on where they are on track. Gibson still 7 tenths down on Andy Dorman, and Gabe Norse a second down on those guys at the moment, with clear air between himself and Andy Carroll in 5th. So we're getting into that sort of very nearly halfway stage, and things settling down, apart from this gaggle that we're looking at here.
Yeah, this is all fairly close, so I'm sure there'll be a few changes for position as we look at Kenny Press going around the outside of Alex Forster, trying to pick off this position. Don't think he's quite going to have enough grip there, and leaves himself a little bit vulnerable there to Paul kind of sneaking up the inside. Again, like with most tracks, we've got such a change of direction. You could be on the inside kind of at an advantage at one corner, and then it's going to switch around the next kind of corner you come to, especially with the fact we've got like 3 chicanes almost on this track. So it's very sort of, yeah, topsy-turvy. It can change in the kind of a split second. But good to see Scott's kind of getting a bit more pace. It definitely seemed to be a better suited track last week at Interlagos for the Audi, with Scott getting some good performances in. Does seem like it's, yeah, definitely more of a BMW track this time around. They seem to handle quite well in the corners, which always amazes me with the kind of power at the back end. They still actually have a good turning in, which I always would have thought, oh, the Audi's going to be better. It's going to be better at these twisty corners and twisty tracks, but it seems like no, the Boomers seem a good all-rounder, and as long as you don't get too twitchy in the corners and lose the kind of back end and have a spin, it seems to be putting in some good performances for a lot of our drivers.
I think that's a good summary of what these cars are offering the championship, as Sam Walton now trying to put Paul Laramie under pressure. So Sam with 1 top 10 to his credit thus far. Jack Dixon trying to get into the top 10 as well. He's in 11th. Rich Hayden still 12th from Ollie Atkins. And Kat Potter in 14th. Kat not disgracing herself either. It's a few seconds down on Ollie Atkins at the moment, but still out there. And trying to, difficult really for the likes of Kat and Ollie to try and get into the top 10, the reverse section. Because obviously it's top 10 in the championship determining the grid for race 1. So those guys are outside that bit for starters, and then they've got to try and work hard to get into the reverse section or race 2. But it's much harder than it used to be when we reversed the whole grid all the time. As Oliver Gibson now putting some pressure on Andy Dorman here for P2. Andy's dropped away from Jack Smith, so we're going to get a brotherly 1-2 maybe going on here. Gabe Norse wants to try and close up as well and get onto the podium as well. I think we've got, I reckon there might be 6 more laps to go, won't it, as Jack Smith has already cleared the line with 9 minutes on the clock. Side by side we go again, and surely the line is there for Oliver Gibson, but we'll see Andy Dorman try and hang on to the outside line, which will tee up the inside. Remember the battle, he can't quite get it back. And I was going to refer back to the race that we saw with Scott Bugner and Oliver Gibson in race number 1, but Ollie Gibson makes it into P2. Andy Dorman down to 3rd, and we'll try and fight back, and this could bring Gabe Norse into it as well. So Gabe Norse here will fancy his chances as these two. Yes, they're still battling, Becky, aren't they? He's still on the back end here, Andy Dorman, not giving up. We know he's quick, and probably trying to work out really points wise. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a drop round for him. I think Pascani is the round that he drops, had an 18th, a non-start, and a 6th, and then a 10th, a 6th, and a win at Nurburgring did Andy Dorman. So this isn't probably going to be a drop round for him. as we drop a little bit further back. And Kenny Press busy chasing Scott Bugner at the moment. Scott in P6, 6 in the championship, Scott Bugner. Fairly well clear of Craig Curtis and not that far behind Andy Carroll in terms of championship points, but Carroll ahead of him here will maintain his advantage in the championship table as far as this race goes. And we go on board with Paul Laramie and shoots down the inside of Alex Forster here, keeping it tight. Again, you get the idea of the sweep down, and Forster working hard to try and hang on to that. Sam Walter wants to get in the mix as well. So a nice three-way battle between the pair of them, but nice move by Paul Laramie.
Very brave move there. Just, yeah, who needs to break for a corner? We'll just dive right in. But yeah, no, lovely stuff there. It's hopefully not going to leave himself too vulnerable with Alex there. Still kind of not managed to drop him at all. So he'll be pushing on, as it looks like Gabe's going to go for a move on Andy. Probably, is he going to do a late dive to the inside? No, he's going to patiently wait for a better moment to go for it. I suppose he'll hope that he closes up on Ollie a bit more, and then it kind of sandwiches him a bit. So he's kind of limited on what he can do to try to defend the move. Andy seemed to take Ollie quite a while to get round Andy, so he's obviously again great at defending. And like I say, been putting in some good performances, so he'll want to hold on to this podium place, and if not, fight for that second place as well if he doesn't have too much trouble. And an argument from Gabe, who's gonna go for a dive up here. Are we gonna all fine? Yielded a bit there by the looks of it, just to avoid any contact, which is good. We like to see that. Don't want to be clipping the end of a car and taking them out. That's not how we want to gain a position. So, but Gabe looks very eager to get this move done.
Yeah, he's trying to measure his way past, isn't he, Gabe? Here he wants to make it an all BMW. In fact, it will be a repeat of the drivers from the podium of round one, but obviously in a slightly different order. But at the moment, we've just got the Andy Dorman Audi in front. So are we going to see? If we're doing classes, which they do in a lot of championships, then I suppose we could have an Audi class winner. And at the moment, that would be Andy Dorman. Andy Carroll is Audi mounted, as well as Gabe Norse. Again, trying to measure the opportunity here and just trying to work out where he's got the extra power, and try and work out where there's a little bit of track room to be able to play as well. And it really is a good, clean game of cat and mouse between these two at the moment. And I take my hat off to both of them for giving us some good, clean racing here. Having said that, though, right on cue, a little bit of a tap between the pair of them. They both survive it, and they both carry on side by side. And it's the inside run from Andy Dorman as they go across the line with, I think, 4 laps to go, very probably, the way we're talking at the moment. Andy Dorman, if he's got another 4 laps of pressure to soak up, it's really going to take it out on the tyres of the Audi, and indeed out of the man himself, I think. And here they come again. The S's really making it a little bit of a lottery for where you can place the car, and Gabe Norse having a little look, runs over the curbs a little bit. That dishevelled the car very slightly as he went into that corner, but doesn't lose too much ground. They are keeping relatively close to Oliver Gibson in P2. Ollie, as you can see from the timing tower, 5.1 seconds down on his brother Jack Smith. So the brothers here, 1 and 2. Andy Dorman in P3. Fascinating stuff as we go back to Kenny Press chasing Scott Bugner. Kenny's having a good run here, actually. Again, well inside the top 10 is Kenny Press. So could potentially be another driver marking himself out to be one, perhaps, of driver of the day. Andy Dorman with his recovery in race 1, we've mentioned in dispatches as well. Kenny Press could be a potential winner of that, and I would say probably we had Sam Walton, didn't we, as well, in race 1. He's inside the top 10 again as well. But this battle is enthralling, and look here at Gabe Norse, and this is all just to get onto the podium here for Gabe Norse, working hard. So too, though, is Andy Dorman, and I say it again, I take my hat off to both of these guys for what they've done so far.
Yeah, Andy's not leaving the slightest of gaps. Obviously enough to make it there is an opportunity, but he's making sure to keep it nice and tight. So yeah, he's not going to have Gabe going for a dive up the inside, or yeah, he's defending really well. I don't know how much longer either of them can keep this up for, with them literally coming across the line bumper to bumper. see if Gabe goes for a late. He's not done it in the last lap, so I don't think he's necessarily going to change it. It seems to be, maybe waiting for something like that to happen. A little bit of a mistake there, not massive, but it just made that pressure kind of come on a bit more. It was almost in the inside of that corner, but not quite got past him yet. But he doesn't seem to want to go for those dives up the inside. Very measured, not going for anything too drastic. To then obviously end both of their races from ending well. So he's probably again thinking, as much as he said he doesn't think about the points that much, surely you've got to think, well, if I finish here, it's not, I'm not gaining that much on my rivals, my championship rivals, but it's still a good haul of points. It's better than obviously dropping out the top 10 or all the way to the bottom of the grid.
Yeah, very definitely. That is going to be in mind at some point. And the other comparison I was going to make, the other point I was going to make is Jack Smith's driven a good clean one in this one as well, and Gabe Norse attacking hard, but just driving fairly here. And that's the point, both, we know that Jack Smith and Gabe Norse, both clean, fair drivers. So there will be a look at the incident in race one. And when you get two very quick drivers racing for the lead, contact is going to happen. I'm just glad I'm not Ian Danaher or Rich Hayden having to make a decision over that one, either tomorrow morning or Thursday morning or whenever they look. But yeah, both of those guys always clean and determined, and you can see here that Gabe North's determined to try and get onto the podium. But what a workout, what a treat we're seeing here between these two. This is great stuff.
Yeah, good battling going on between these two, and it probably will go until the finish line unless anything major happens. And again, just going back to Scott and Kenny, as Scott runs very wide there. So yeah, Kenny's probably gonna have him out of the first corner, but Scott will keep pushing him back. Right, actually, I want that place back. That was a silly mistake to have made running wide out of that corner. So he'll be battling back and trying to get that position back, as he looks like. Is he going to try to go around the outside again? Probably a bit too wide that time around. Didn't quite probably have the grip that I was expecting. Where Ollie said he was surprised by how much grip he had around that corner. Didn't work that way for Scott, unfortunately, but I'm sure he'll keep lining up an attack on this lap. I'm trying to think if we will probably just about make it to get another lap after this one. And still these two battling away. So Andy, his defence again, without jinxing him too much, because it just feels like it might happen. Yeah, great defending here. So he's really making Gabe push for this and work for this.
He is really cracking race between the pair of them, and now we get the moment on the grass, and the pressure, I think, really all boiled up to that moment, didn't it? And it's Gabe North through into third place, and yeah, no disgrace for either of those drivers, both going off, and a slightly better recovery there from Gabe puts him up into P3. So Gabe now with Andy Dorman down behind him. Andy's still top Audi driver. Not that that'll be any consolation for him at all. It'll be interesting to see whether we get an Audi on the podium in race 3 of the evening, but one would say probably not, given that we've got going to have these three, Smith, Gibson and Norse, are going to be top point scorers and starting off the front of the order. One wonders what Andy Dorman would have done in race 1 if he hadn't had that moment going right the way back, as Scott Bugner tries to close down on Kenny Press in his Audi as well. Sam Walton again comfortably in the top 10 in 8th place. Alex Forster 9th, Paul Laramie in 10th, and Rich Hayden, then Ollie Atkins, Jack Dickerson, Cat Potter is in 14th, completing our runners. We are now obviously on the last lap as we are over time, and Jack Smith 6 seconds to the good over Oliver Gibson with Jack Norse there. We're looking at Andy Dorman in P4, but Jack Smith, I think the key thing here is going to be about his opening few corners. He certainly has had the pace through this fastest lap as well, and well clear of his brother, but it's a brotherly one too at the moment, and we're seeing whether Andy Dorman can get back on terms with Gabe Norse in third, but he's surely too far back to do anything about him at the minute.
Yeah, it seemed to have closed the gap up a little bit, but I wonder if again he's maybe feeling it in his tyres a bit. It just doesn't seem to be getting around those corners as easily as he had been before, and I feel terrible because I feel like I really jinxed that, and it was literally seconds after. So if they say BTCC is scripted. Well, I don't know what they're going to say about this one, because that was very, very coincidental. But yeah, I feel bad for Andy because he had some great defending during the whole race, pretty much, for keeping Ollie at bay for how long he did, and then obviously to keep Gabe at bay. But unfortunately, again, they both made a mistake, both ran wide, and just unfortunately, I think Andy just stayed probably off the track a little bit longer than he was hoping to. Couldn't quite get the car stable enough for him to get back on track. So Gabe's kind of made the most out of that as we are focusing on our race winner of Jack Smith crossing the line.
Yeah, here he comes then. So Jack Smith adds a win to third position in race number 1, and we'll be having a chat with him a little bit later on. 7 seconds further down the road is Oliver Gibson, who takes P2. Gabe Norse, another podium, sets an all BMW podium again. Andy Dorman, the top Audi. Andy Carroll comes home in 5th place from Kenny Press, who with that drive slots him in line potentially for driver of the round, along with Andy Dorman and Sam Walton, who is 7th from Scott Bugner, Alex Forster. There's Paul Laramie wrapping up the top 10. 11th will be Rich Hayden, who is currently ahead of Ollie Atkins. Jack Dixon 13th, and Kat Potter, another finish under the belt of Kat Potter, and we'll be having our podium interviews in just a couple of minutes.
Early stages of the second Legends Cars race.
Always looks like great fun to the Legends, and as I mentioned earlier, it's definitely one of the series I need to go and have a nosy at. Maybe might not venture all the way up to Scotland though. I'll see how I feel, how kind of motivated and loyal I am to the cause. But back with our interview, so we've got Gabe Norse in 3rd place. Talk us through your race. It was very eventful for you. Managed to get Andy just towards the end, so again, both of you had a bit of an off, so you managed to recover a little bit quicker and gain that 3rd spot.
Yeah, the race went quite well. I was kind of just behind Ollie and Jack all the way through it, and yeah, they kind of just broke away from me near the end. But it was good to get 3rd, and yeah, me and Andy went quite far off the track near the end of the lap. Yeah, that was eventful.
But yeah, good to get back on track. No collisions caused when you both came back on, and yeah, like you say, you managed to recover a little bit quicker, so managed to get that spot. But it was great to see you two battling. Yeah, close fighting between the two of you, and again, nice and clean as well. So always a positive note to end a race on when you've been able to battle so hard, so close without any major incidents.
Yeah, it was quite a fun battle with him, and then I was very glad to get the spot after he went off, and yeah, it was a fun battle.
Yeah, I'd made kind of notice you were always there on the first corner, but you never went for like a late sort of dive up the inside. You seem like a very measured driver. Would you agree with that, or are you going to be really humble and be like, nah, it's just, we just go with it?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on the day if I'm measured or not. Sometimes I'll go for moves that maybe I shouldn't, and then other times I won't. But yeah, it kind of, yeah. I'm not sure how I'd describe my driving. Sometimes good, sometimes terrible.
Well, that was some great driving there. I'll tell you that. So yeah, congratulations on your third place. How do you feel the next race is going to go?
I'm not too sure where I'm starting, but I just kind of hope I can get in front of Jack and Ollie and hopefully stay there. But yeah, hopefully it will be a fun battle either way.
I'm sure it will be, and I'm sure you'll give us some more great battles to go with this race, as along with all the other ones that you've given us so far. So good luck for the next one. Any shout outs you want to do?
Probably just a shout out to everyone watching this because of me. It means a lot to me, so thank you.
Lovely stuff. Well, I'll let you have a bit of a longer breather now, and get ready for the last race.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Becky. Well done, Gabe Norse as well. Cracking drive. Really good to see. Really enjoyable. And also, we've got to say same thing for Oliver Gibson in P2. Ollie, well done. I get to have a chat with you as we're jiggling things around in terms of the interviews. But a Hop Cavern 1-2. I'm sure you'd have much preferred the win. But what can you do about your bro?
Oh, he's just too fast. I'm gonna have to go and plug his rig or something. Don't know what he's doing. He's flying. But no. Lee in the Hop Cavern will be very happy. So, well, actually, maybe not because he has to give Jack a free pint. But no, I honestly I cannot even get close to Jack. He's just absolutely flying here. So, I have no idea what I'm going to do in this next race. But honestly, I'm just happy with just getting points. That's all that I'm worried about. To be honest, is just picking up these podiums and top fives and see where we end up after this next race. And obviously, that will help keep me in the top 3 in the championship, so we'll see. But
yeah, it's all very close, isn't it? And you know, never quite know what's going to happen when we come into each round. I'm guessing you're back home now. Are you got your rig and everything back home, or are you still at uni?
no, the last week was my first race back home, so yeah, no, it's nice. It's still warm though. I thought it might be a bit cooler at home, but it's absolutely boiling. So in my little corner, I've got my fan on, but I turned it off because otherwise you'd hear all of it.
Have you finished uni now, or do you start? You got to go back. I forget where you are in your studies. You got to go back in the autumn.
That is it now. Well, September obviously I got to go back for first year. My foundation year is finished, so quite happy that it's finished early. It's quite nice. I get a long summer, so plenty of sim time and all the rest of it. But yeah, no, going back in September. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's quite good. What other than sims? Is there anything else that you do? Are you going to go to the track at all? Or?
I'm going to try and go karting as much as I can. My debut with the karting team didn't go very well, so.
What happened?
Oh, you know, bits and bobs. Just I got unlucky in the first race. I had a spin in front of me and nothing really I could do, and my pace isn't great. I mean, I got thrown in a bit at the deep end, but you know, still the pace wasn't great. So I'm going to try and go karting.
Because was that Silverstone though?
Unfortunately, it wasn't. That looked so cool. Mine was at Landau in Wales.
Yeah.
But no, the Silverstone one did look good. I was very jealous.
Yeah, I saw that there was a university kart race at the weekend. It was a friend of ours doing the presenting on it for the first time, which I think he enjoyed. But oh, that's pretty good. We've only got a couple of minutes to go. So any shout outs? Obviously, Hop Cavern.
Yeah, Hop Cavern, everyone on the car, everyone watching, my parents and my girlfriend's watching as well. So, and a shout out to Jack for taking points away from everyone else, which is very nice. But yeah, no, and shout out to you guys as well for the streams and all the commentary. So, yeah.
Very kind. Thanks, Ollie. Well done on P2, and we'll try and catch up with you for race 3 as well. Good luck for race 3.
Cheers, thank you.
Over to Becky.
That means, unfortunately, Jack, you've drawn the short straw along with Gabe having to chat to me. Great race. Again, I think you just proved the dominance there of just, yeah, getting a good start. I'm surprised that first kind of the start of the race when you were boxed in, where you're thinking, oh no, this might not end very well. I think you had like a police box round you, a car in front, car behind, and 2 either side.
Yeah, I don't know why you put yourself down, Becky. I thought you did really well last week, but yeah, no, it was a good start to the race. I saw everyone dive to the inside, and I was like, I'll have my chances around the outside, and it worked out really well. In the middle of a 3 wide going into T2. It was a little bit scary, but we made it work, and then came out behind the leader, and just chasing down from there and trying to find a way past. And the Audi is sort of faster in some bits and then slower in others, so it was a bit strange. Following so close, it caught me off guard a few times. I had to like really brake check myself just to slow down a bit more. But yeah, once we got past it, was just quality lap after quality lap after quality lap. I didn't really stop pushing until I saw the flag and flashed my lights, and that was the end of it. And I came away really sweaty, even though I wasn't racing anyone. But I just sort of needed to put every single bit of effort into every race, and that's what we did in that one. And it turned out quite well.
It's great to know that again you push every single lap, even if you've got a clear kind of racetrack in front of you and can't really see anybody behind you either. So it's always good to know that you're giving it your all. I was going to ask about once you got past you kind of everybody and was then out in front, if it was kind of laid back, but you kind of already answered that by saying it was kind of definitely not that. It's the joy of then doing any sim racing in a stuffy room with a sim that's probably adding to the heat as well.
I think you've sold sim racing for anyone that hasn't started yet. To be fair, I've not even got a fan on, which would have been a good idea before starting next race. But I just ended up racing my Delta, which tells me if I'm up or down on a lap, and I just ended up racing that. Really, I was within a tenth nearly every single lap, and I was fuming trying to find that last little tenth. But yeah, you have to be careful not to push too hard and step over the line, because you have to remember you are in a race. But yeah, it's when you're out in front, I don't think there's any point in slowing down. You need to put your best effort in, because if something does happen, you've then got that buffer of time behind you that you can lean on if something does happen. And that's basically what I did. So yeah, really happy.
Lovely and interesting to know. Actually, you use the Delta. I know some drivers will turn it off because and I think I'm one of those drivers. So if I look at my Delta too much, I either get frustrated because I'm nowhere near the time, or I'm racing that too much. So yeah, it's again just shows you kind of the talent you have as a driver to be able to use that as kind of fuel and keep you focused on where you want to be, how close in kind of like the difference in your Delta you want to be, like you say, keep it a tenth throughout it, to just show the consistency and just be able to take the race win with a very dominant performance.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's I always find it useful just to see where I am on the lap. It's good as a reference. So I'll just keep it on my screen all the time, really.
Well, thank you. I'll let you go because I think you're literally about to start your race. So congratulations on the first. So sorry for keeping you so long.
All good, no worries. Thank you.
Yeah, just to let you know, there have been some brown envelopes being handed to Becky to try and keep Jack talking, so he wasn't properly prepared for race 3 from the other drivers. No, I'm joking.
He's a professional. It won't affect him at all.
I know. He's ready to go. I think so are we as well. And Jack gets the pole position in this one with Gabe Norris, Ollie Gibson. Scott Bugner, best of the rest at the moment. So he's best Audi on points, ahead of Andy Dorman and Sam Walton. So very little time to say anything else as we get ready for already our third and final race of the evening here at Mugello. And away we go. Good luck, everybody. Jack Smith will lead the way. He's the man to beat here for sure. And Gabe Norris is taking the battle to him as they come down into turn 1 for the first time. Smith on the inside. This is a repeat of maybe the incident that we saw earlier on. This time it's Norris that's got to try and work the outside. Is he going to be able to hang on to it? He is. They're keeping each other within sight at the moment, giving each other the space, and Norris decides better than diving up the inside, and I think defending second position from Oliver Gibson, but Gibson goes for the dive down the inside to try and make it a brotherly 1-2 again, and Gabe Norris side by side with him here, with Scott Bugner in 4th ahead of Andy Dorman, trying to go for Audi honours again. As we said, top Audi point scorer on the day so far, still side by side for second position as they clear the S's, and it's Smith from Gibson. Smith getting away. Gabe Norris on the outside this time, trying to get past the junior brother, if we can call him that one, without any disrespect at all. Norris does get P2, but again he's being challenged back by Oliver Gibson in 3rd place, but Norris will want to get his head down here and see if he can close in on Jack Smith. Fascinating first few corners, and here comes Gibson again with his nose back in front, and indeed the whole car back in front into P2, and Scott Bugner's got his elbows out and goes down the inside, so we've got an Audi up on the podium. Scott Bugner really having a good go here, and Gabe Norris is going to feel very frustrated here, Becky, down in 4th place.
I'm pleased. I think my computer has finished having the little bit of a meltdown it was having then with all the action unfolding. And I think I'm back with you. I think I was slightly delayed. So you're saying somebody's up the inside. I'm like, no, they're not. So I think I'm back with it. So a bit of a change around. Yeah, like you say, Gabe's probably going to feel a little bit hard done by then. A bit frustrated with that, but he'll just keep his focus and think, right, okay, it's the start of the race. We've got 18 minutes to go. I've got plenty of time to rectify this, but we've got a very punchy Andy Dorman behind as well. That looks like he wants to get on a podium. He's been close, so he's like, no, right, end of this race, I'm on a podium. Again, back to Sam Walton and Kenny Press, great performances by the pair of these two. So good to see again they're actually battling each other, as we've got Scott Bugner looking like he's gonna go for a move on Ollie. No, he's gonna hang fire a little bit. Again, that wide line for the Audi just doesn't seem to like it as much. The Beamers seem to be able to stick it round the outside, but the Audi's just like, no, we don't have the grip for that. Always seems to kind of a bit of understeer out of that corner. It's not quite getting there, so maybe won't try that move again, because it's now left him vulnerable to Gabe, now thinking, right, okay, this is my moment to get you. But like I say, Andy's there, Andy Dorman, and then Andy Carroll's not far behind as well. So everybody, it always seems to be race 3. We get a bit more punchy. It's a bit more like, right, okay, it's the final race of the evening. Let's go out with a bang.
Yeah, we don't want to bang particularly, but trying to work out who's not in this one, because we have got Kieran Haynes, who's up into 11th. So Kieran's maybe got his server problems sorted out, or his internet problems sorted out. But we've still only got 14 cars, with Alex Forster down in 14th, Cat Potter 13th, Rich Hayden 12th, Kieran in 11th. And I can't for the life of me work out who we're missing, because I'm sure we had 14 without Kieran in race 2. That's putting Becky on the spot, isn't it? I don't.
Yeah, it is. So I'm bear with me whilst I try to work out who we are missing.
Kenny's there. Sometimes Kenny disappears for a race, but he's out there. Paul Laramie. Yeah, I can't think who it might be at the moment. But I'm sure the viewers are going to be shouting at me. And Scott Bugner has a massive moment there. Drops back down to 5th, maybe 6th position, as Andy Dorman now getting stuck into Gabe North. So it's Smith from Gibson, Gabe North now in 3rd, and up on the podium. So it's the 3 BMWs, 1, 2 and 3. Andy Dorman next up, Scott Bugner having dropped back. So Scott was top Audi momentarily, and now we've got Dorman having a really good go here at Gabe North. He's going to want to really try and get back in front here, as Andy Carroll comes under pressure from Scott Bugner as well. But yeah, you're absolutely right about things sort of kicking off in the 3rd race. And you know, when we have the total reverse grids, it was the Formula Ford guys that said about, you know, let's have the fastest drivers or the best scoring drivers on the front for race 3. And it hasn't given us any disappointing races so far, to my mind, in the ones that I've worked on. The only disappointing thing for the field is that Jack Smith has had the opportunity to disappear and build up a 2.7 second lead earlier on, but the rest of them all busy fighting and squabbling in the first quarter of this race.
It was Jack Dickinson, just going back to that note before I forget. Well, so he's again, don't know if it's internet issues, but yeah, it's always good. I think with the point system with this last race, because it's obviously over this evening, you get everybody that's actually performed very similar in this race event then battling each other. So we get more battling, more fights, more kind of even racing between them, because they're kind of more grouped in who's performing better, who's kind of might be struggling a bit more, but we're still going to get the battles amongst them. So that's always good to see, and mixes it up, gives us a bit more of a different dynamic than some of how the other series have kind of unfolded, when it's been like a complete reverse, and you always get a bit more carnage with them and people trying to clear drivers. And again, maybe that they're not always used to battling. So it's like we saw with Gabe and lining up and working out, okay, when's best to make this move? Maybe because he's not always battled against Andy Dorman. So it's being, again, measured about it, thinking, right, this move won't work if I go for this move because this driver's defending on this line. So it's good to see we've got that continuation between Gabe and Andy from the last kind of race. Andy will be hoping he finishes the better one off this time round, so hopefully he can get a good performance, as we've got Scott going up the inside on his teammate, and managing to just about stick ahead of him, but I'm sure they probably have battled plenty of times before, so they're going to continue to do so tonight.
I think they will. Are they going to work together for a little bit? They try and close down on Andy Dorman, so we've got the 3 BMWs and then 3 Audis all sort of fighting it out as well. And we might have to be mindful of top Audi for driver of the round. And I'll ping you guys in the messenger at some point if I try and multitask. Blokes, of course, cannot multitask, as you know. Is your other half any good at multitasking, Becky?
No. We try to do one job doing something, and he tends to get sidetracked doing 20 other things before we come back to the original job. And timekeeping, we won't even go there.
You
to
were going
embarrass
for
him,
it there,
though.
aren't you?
Well, I say this all the time, just to embarrass him. He was 4 hours late to our first date.
Was he?
Yes, he was. Car problems, his tyre blew out. So I'll let him off. And then he did drive 3 hours to come see me. So I'll let him off just this once. But I do like to bring it up as many times as possible.
Yeah, I always tell my missus was late down the aisle actually when we got married, but she's not listening to this.
But that's normal. That's always
apparently.
happens.
Yeah, the inequity is, of course, it's all right for a female to be late.
Yeah, but we've got so much more to do to get ready. Let's not get into this debate, Richard.
Right, okay, so this has actually calmed down really, this race. This is, sort of as settled as a race 3 as I've seen so far, probably this year. Jack Smith 3.9 seconds clear of Oliver Gibson. I don't think that was ever going to be a big surprise that Jack is away. Gabriel North still in 3rd place, trying to hunt down Ollie Gibson. That might be one to watch. The other one that we can probably think about maybe is Scott Bugner trying to close down on Andy Dorman, but there's a gap of around about 2 seconds between Scott and Andy. And as we look a little bit further down, Ollie Atkins in 10th, Rich Hayden 11th, Alex Forster 12th, Kat Potter. I wonder if Kieran's still struggling a little bit in 14th with his internet, but fair play for doggedly getting, carrying on and getting back with us here. I know how frustrating it can be as Scott Bugner gets all sideways, maybe having a little bit of drifting, certainly not doing him any good in terms of closing up on Andy Dorman, and he's got Carroll and Press right with him as well. So you've kind of got 3 VRRC stalwarts here, all dicing it out together, and another one in the mix not too far behind him, Paul Laramie. I think Sam Walton's been VRRC for quite a while, certainly longer than I have on this stint of commentary duties, but always good to see those guys dicing hard as we go back to Gabe Norse trying to close down on Oliver Gibson. I think Gabe is beginning to make a little bit of a dent into P2 here, so Gabe would love to add a 2nd position. He'll complete his podium bingo house here because he had the win in race 1 and then obviously 3rd position in race 2, and if he can catch and pass Oliver Gibson, he'll have the 2nd place, so he'll have had all of the 3 steps on the podium if he can do it. Meanwhile, Kenny Press and Andy Carroll getting stuck in with each other, with Scott Bugner in the mix as well. So Scott just calming down a little bit, some way away from being top Audi, but looking to try and get into 2nd position in virtual class, if we can say that, as they have a drag race down the straight across the stripe, and it is Bugner that is ahead as they go over the stripe now. Uphill and down into the right-hander at turn 1. Carroll on the inside looking to get the position back, which he should do. Kenny Press closing up as well. Paul Laramie looking to try and get in the mix as well. 2 teammates, though, having a good race of this one, and probably the closest battle on circuit here. All for 5th place, with Andy Carroll and Scott Bugner really enjoying themselves, I think.
Yeah, the 2 teammates having a good battle between themselves, swapping positions back and forth. Luckily, not allowing Kenny to come in on the action too much. And Andy Dorman's obviously up the road as the kind of lead Audi, as you say. Paul Laramie just going a little bit wide out at that corner. And typical, the only time I really badmouth my partner on this stream, he's actually listening. And I'm like, oh no. So that might be me in the bad books when he's apparently got it on the living room TV, which is very daunting to think about. So sorry to my neighbours as well. But yeah, some good battling. It looks like Scott's just dropped back a little bit there. And like you say, yeah, Gabe's trying desperately to close this gap, still keeping the same sort of gap at the moment. It's not come down massively. But he'll know again how pivotal it was by putting the pressure on Andy in the last race. He'll be wanting to do the same with Ollie, and hoping that kind of just puts him off his stride a little bit to manage to get a move done, as we've just caught the end of Andy going wide there, so he's dropped back a couple of places, and now got Paul Laramie looking to take advantage of his obviously his loss of momentum, and Sam Walton not far behind as well, so maybe he can get another sort of P8 or above finish, and Scott Buckner's had a moment as well, so as much as you've just said it calmed down, it seems to be kicking off again.
Yeah, there's always action when Scott Bugner's around, isn't there? And that's good news for Sam Walton, who is 8. He's had, I can't remember what the results were in the previous round. I think he had a 6 earlier on, Sam Walton. He's had 2 other 6 positions over the course of this campaign. But what he hasn't done so far in this campaign is what he is maybe on course to do in this one, which is have 3 top 10s over the course of the 3 races, which is why we've got one eye on Sam perhaps as driver of the round here. Kenny Press though is driving out of his skin and is up in P5, so he could be in line for it as well. And Andy Dorman with that recovery and being top Audi driver as well. So we've got plenty of food for thought in terms of driver of the round. We should also, of course, throw into the mix the likes of Jack Smith with 2 wins. The only sort of thing that maybe puts me off that is Jack had the award at the Nurburgring, and I'm a little bit tight-fisted when it comes to giving the same driver of the round twice in one series.
Yeah, it's nice to again give praise to some of the drivers that again might not be on the podiums, but have put in some stellar performances, and they deserve the credit for it as well. I was just looking back. I think Sam Walton actually got a 5th place in the first race, so yeah. Good performances from him. Again, you never like to say it too much about these drivers because it always tends to be something will happen in this last race when you're talking about driver of the round. And I don't want to jinx anybody because there's been some great driving this evening. So yeah, difficult one to call. And I think actually safe to say a lot of the driver of the rounds we've been talking about, they're all Audi based cars. So it's good to see actually, although they might not have been on the podium so far this evening, you never know, it could change. They're still actually putting in some good performances, some good battles, giving us some entertaining fights to be able to watch this evening.
Sam Walton's internet's about to go down, and his BT super fibre or whatever he has is probably just about to disconnect as we start talking about him as a possibility for driver of the round. Probably same with Kenny Press, who's up in P5. Yeah, that is a top 5. I think best result of the series for Sam Walton in that first race. Becky, thanks for picking up on that. But yeah, we've got several drivers very much in the mix, and yeah, but we'll make our deliberations in the remaining 5 minutes. And if any of the drivers are listening to the comms or friends of drivers that we're talking about, make sure they stay on, because we do like to get to have a little bit of a chance to talk to our driver of the round. It could also be Gabe Norse, because he's trying everything in his power to close in on Oliver Gibson and just break up the 2 Hop Caverners again. So we'll see whether he can do it and maybe get that 2nd position. He's certainly a long way away from Jack Smith at the moment, but you can see that Gabe Norse is trying really hard here, and this is all about championship points as well. Remember, Norse coming into the evening was just 1 point down on Andy Dorman and a further 5 points down on Ollie Gibson. So really keen stuff in terms of P2 for the championship here, depending on what Gabe Norse can do over the last 3 laps of this Tuesday evening. A reminder, we've only got one more round to go of our Touring Car Championship, which is Ricardo Tormo next Tuesday, which we're looking forward to as we pick up on Sam Walton trying to hunt down Paul Laramie at the moment. Scott Bugner down behind him. Rich Hayden in behind as well. I haven't seen a lot of Rich Hayden this evening. And Rich, of course, with Ian Danaher, our clerk of the course. Rich, of course, Mr. VRRC as well. And not too far away from the action in the top 10. So who have we lost out of the top 10? It's, I think, Alex Forster who's dropped out of the top 10. Ollie Atkins 11th, Alex in 12th, Kieran Haynes 13th, and Kat Potter will be picking up some points in 14th as well. But it is now getting very close indeed. The challenge is on for P2, and Gabe Norse is all over the back end of Oliver Gibson at the moment. So where things were quieter earlier on, we're into the last 2.5, 3 laps of this race here, and it is very close between Norse and Gibson. Gibson, though, has got the initiative. He's got the track position at the moment. He'll be aware that Gabe Norse has caught him, and that might just put a bit of pressure on him in these closing stages.
Yeah, this could be very, very interesting in our last couple of laps, and Andy will be full focus on this fight ahead to think, okay, if anything happens, I'm here to pick up the pieces. Yeah, hopefully it will stay nice and clean. I'm sure it will. Again, another couple of drivers that do race fairly cleanly. And if anything happens, it tends to be something major's probably happened, and so yeah, hopefully give us a good battle towards the end of this race, just to end the evening nicely. But yeah, Gabe will be wanting to minimise that point gap between himself and Jack, and obviously Ollie to get himself up and try to claw back a couple of positions on the championship standing. But he's looking like he's eyeing up again, seeing where he can make this move happen. It won't surprise me if again it's kind of last minute, last lap, out of the last corner, to make the most out of it and make sure that Ollie can't then come back and battle for it. So then at least he secured it, as we've got some good battling from Sam and Scott going on. Obviously Scott had dropped back a bit, but Sam again putting up some good defensive moves to make sure he is going to hold on to that P8.
Yeah, seeing lots of good work, aren't we, here from Sam Walton this evening? Good attacking drives. Remember that the original point was that he'd come into the top 10 from outside that reverse zone, and really getting stuck in now and off in towards the wall on one side, if not the other, goes Scott Bugner. So a little bit of door handling between the pair of them. Back though to the scrap for second position. Jack Smith still out front. Oliver Gibson in P2. Gabe Norse again. Gabe showing us that he is, clean and fair in terms of his attacking driving here. We saw it towards the end of race 2, and we're seeing it once again. That was before the moment off the circuit, wasn't it, with Andy Dorman to get up onto the podium last time. He's on for a third podium of the evening, but so too is Oliver Gibson. So it's all a big matter of pride for these drivers. Jack Smith 7 seconds clear at the moment of these two, and they're certainly not going to be doing themselves any favours by squabbling over P2. At the moment, these guys. Still Andy Dorman back in 4th. And here comes Gabe Norse, who's got a very good run here indeed. And Gabe Norse is going to find the inside run, very well timed. But look at the twists and turns that Becky described earlier on. Give the advantage back on the next corner to Oliver Gibson. They're still side by side coming uphill. The next corner is the inside line here for Gabe Norse. They're still side by side. They're trying to give each other room. Norse has got the run here on the right-hand sweeper, but is he going to be able to be far enough in front? This part reminds me of some of the old Rockingham circuit that used to get on the infield, and Norse just manages to slot back in front. Very well executed piece of racing by this pair of drivers, and it's still not finished yet because Oliver Gibson is valiantly trying to get back around the outside and giving Gabe Norse a terrific run for his money. But what a super piece of virtual racing from the pair of them. Here comes Gibson down across the line onto the last lap, and Gibson's going to get P2 back because he's going to have the inside run. Superb stuff between the pair of them here as they come down into turn 1. Gibson has got the position back. Absolute racing by definition here, Becky, with passing and repassing, loads of side-by-side action which carries on, and Gibson's going to have the run into the next corner, and this one could go all the way to the flag.
Oh, it definitely will. I mean, Ollie will be mindful now and know exactly what Gabe did the last lap, and be trying his best to defend him. Like you say, it's just going to keep kind of swapping back and forth with how many twists and turns we have, and left and rights. It keeps kind of going back and forth. So it's then trying to think ahead, being strategic and thinking, right, okay, I need to be on the inside of this corner to make sure I'm going to stay ahead over that finish line. And it's bringing Andy back into it as well. So another sort of maybe mind game that Ollie will be thinking of, again, being the leading car, thinking, well, if I can back him up a little bit, give him a bit of pressure from Andy, he's either going to leave me alone or it's going to cause him to make an error. There's too many things to focus on then. So he's going to be willing Andy on to come and maybe relieve a bit of pressure off him, or he might be striving off it and thinking this is great fun. It's been some great racing again. Good to see it all keeping clean in that kind of end of that last lap as well. So yeah, brilliant between the pair of them, as we've probably got Jack coming over the line shortly with him being about 10 seconds up the road.
And there he is, as if on cue, as Becky predicts. Jack Smith looking to make it a second win. Very determined start in race 2, and that result put him on pole position for race 3, which he has taken a lights out to virtual flag victory for Jack Smith and will extend the championship lead. Here comes this battle for 2, second position, and it's going to be Oliver Gibson, or is it because they're having a drag race to the line? As they go across the line, Gabe Norse just takes it in a photo finish. Goodness me, I'd written it down the other way, but it's Gabe Norse that just gets that superb run. That's the kind of thing we've been watching in Legends cars racing all year. What a drag to the flag we had between the pair of them. A good, clean race. And you know what? The contact we had between Jack and Gabe, there's no malice between those two. And I think that what we've seen, particularly from Gabe Norse in races 2 and 3, just goes to show that I think the contact that we had in the beginning of race 1, or sorry, towards the end of race 1, was very much bad luck, but some super effort between those drivers. So it's Jack Smith that takes it. Gabe Norse second. Oliver Gibson pipped on the line. Andy Dorman comes home in 4th place from Andy Carroll. Kenny Press in 6th. Paul Laramie 7th from Sam Walton. Rich Hayden up into the top 10. He's 9th from Alex Forster. Ollie Atkins 11th. Scott Bugner down in 12th at the end. Scott frustrating over the last couple of laps. Kieran Haynes in 13th. And our finishers completed by Catherine Potter. Well done to all of our drivers, and we'll have a catch up with our top 3 and our driver of the round in just a couple of minutes.
I've had a lot of challenges in my life, and Helen was always there, supporting me through everything. Today, we're facing a new challenge. Helen has been diagnosed with a terrible disease. Dementia is nothing less than a worldwide epidemic. Formula One moves fast. By contrast, medical research can be painfully slow. We want to bring some of our Formula One technology into the laboratories. Our charity, Race Against Dementia, will help to accelerate the pace of dementia research. Let's beat dementia together.
Well, there we go. A good 3 races to complete our penultimate round of the touring car series, and we're going to sort of change things around a little bit. And the first interview we're going to get Becky to do, and it's for our driver of the round. So over to you, Becky.
So yeah, driver of the round this time out is Andy Dorman. So congratulations. I have made note. You always seem to be there and thereabouts. You're always lurking in the background somewhere. So, and picking up a good haul of points to put you. I'm not actually too sure where you finish now, but you were P4 in the championship.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, we seem to be sort of top of the Audi crowd. These BMWs around here were just a bit too much of a reach, I think, tonight.
Yeah, they seem to have a lot more grip around the track this evening. A few moves that the Beamers could pull off, but the Audi seemed to struggle with. But yeah, like you say, the top of the Audis in this outing. Some great battles between you and Gabe as well. So great to see that battle in between the two of you.
Yeah, it's been a really fun night, to be fair.
So obviously a fan of the track then.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this track. It'd be nicer if I could just about keep with the BMWs a bit better, but I'm quite happy with 4th.
Yeah, no, like I said, they just seem to have a lot more grip around the track tonight. So yeah, to be able to put yourself up there every single time and always battling and so close to a podium, especially in the second race. So commiserations on that respect. But yeah, congratulations for driver of the round. Any shout outs before you get off and probably want to go get your dinner?
Yeah, we'll give a shout out to the Team Boost with the Honda Civic. We've been hard at work this week getting it ready for Santa Pod in 2 weeks for Door Slammers, so we'll all be going out for that, so it should be good fun.
Lovely stuff. So yeah, congratulations again, and hopefully a good a good performance to come for the final round. Do you have any predictions for your race next week?
I'm not sure. I haven't even looked to see what track we've got last round yet.
It's Ricardo Tormo, so not one that I think many people are too familiar with. So hopefully throw in a few curveballs.
Yeah, I don't think I've driven it before, so it might throw quite a few people off, I think, next week.
Yeah, well, I will be tuning in to catch up with that one. So good luck for next week, and congratulations again, Andy.
Yep, thanks a lot.
Well done, Andy. Thanks to Becky as well for doing that interview, and we'll hear a little bit more from Becky before we carry on. Very close, as you saw, for second and third. And I actually written down this guy's name in second position. I thought he'd got it, but it didn't quite happen that way. But it is another podium, though, for Ollie Gibson. Nothing you could do about Gabe, was there, off those final few turns?
No, I thought I had him as well, to be honest. But yeah, no, clearly just across the line he got me. But no, it was a good race. Big shout out to Gabe for that one, because that was a tough
two were
one.
great.
And,
Yeah, you two were absolutely mega all the way through the closing stages of that one. Really good, clean stuff. And I said racing by definition, Ollie, because, you know, he passed you, but then, you know, you came back, and we don't see enough of that in real world racing, let alone in the virtual world. So, you know, talk us through that battle.
yeah, it was just, I don't know, my car felt really good. Clearly didn't have enough, but no, I just felt like I could put my car in different places, so it wasn't like one line I had to take. I could take multiple, which is always a nice thing. But yeah, no, I've been trying to get better at wheel-to-wheel racing, so yeah, no, it was nice to see it nearly come off. But no, it was fun, and yeah, I enjoyed it. So it was good fun, but obviously, yeah, would have liked to get second, but here's what it is.
Yeah, and I think, you know, second position in the championship still there, but I think it's just a point now between yourself and Gabe as well. So, you know, it's as close as it was across the line going into the last round of the campaign.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's a bit too close for me, but no, I mean, it should be a good last round. I need to learn this track because I've never driven it before, so it's always fun. But you know, it is good that we've got a good championship fight. So yeah, we'll see what happens next week. But if it's anything like that last race, then yeah, it's going to be fireworks, I think.
Yeah, well, no excuse for you now, because as you probably heard in the interviews earlier on, Gabe's got all his exams coming up, and you're finished now, so you've got all week on the sim, and he's got exams. So I'm going to put the pressure on you now.
I've got no excuses.
I hope we get more great close racing between the pair of you, you know, as we did this evening, because that was an absolute treat to watch. It really was. So well done. What is the plan for the week? I mean, is it sort of sim work, or are you going to, you know, you deserve a bit of a break, don't you, as well?
Yeah, just going to chill out a bit. I'll probably try and learn a new track at some point this week. But yeah, just chill out. Probably watch this stream back, because me and Jack always like doing that the next day. So. And then you'll probably go on to practicing. So, yeah, a bit boring.
Don't forget to tune in for the Touring Cars and Sports on ITV4 at the weekend. I guess
I will
plug in there.
Yep, I definitely will.
But well done, mate. Ollie Gibson, congratulations. P3, only just, but yeah, in other racing it might have been a tie, but you know, really, really good stuff. Ollie Gibson, P3. We'll catch you next week.
Yes, thank you.
And so we're on to our second place interview with Gabe Norse. Just some incredible racing from you this evening, some great battles. It was good to see you pick up that fight with Andy Dorman at the start of this race, obviously continuing on from the end of the second race. So talk us through that to begin with.
Yeah, the battle with Andy was quite fun. I mean, I just about managed to get past him in the end, but yeah, it was a good little battle with him. And then, yeah, I was just kind of throughout that race trying to catch up to Ollie, and then by the end I just about got him. But yeah, it was quite an interesting race, that one.
Yeah, it was some great moves by the pair of you, but especially in the last couple of laps of that race, very exciting to watch. It now means at the current standings you're only a point behind Ollie. So yeah, you'll probably be full focus on that with our final round next week, and actually with you now being probably known as the kind of the last lap sort of keeping everybody on the line, that surely builds your confidence for this the final round of this series.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully next week I can just drive off into the distance. But yeah, it's interesting. I've had 2 very close finishes this championship. But yeah, I'm hoping to beat Ollie, but we'll just have to see how it goes next round.
And then quickly, are you familiar with the track that we're at next, or are you the same as everybody else so far? Not too familiar, so plenty of laps in the next week.
I think I've seen one on board of the track ever, and I think I clicked off that video quite promptly. So yeah, it should be interesting to learn it, but yeah, we'll have to see how it goes.
Well, I'm sure you'll pick it up fairly quickly, as all of you guys seem to be able to pick it up masterfully. So good luck with your prep, obviously with your exams as well, if you've got any before I next chat to you. So good luck with that all, and yeah, well done again for your second place tonight.
Yep, thank you.
Well done, Gabe. Thanks, Becky, as well, for picking IOP2 into you. And yeah, really, really close. Just having a quick look at the Valencia circuit. Andy Dorman's already getting in some practice as well, so he's dropped off from the chat box after winning his driver of the round, and he's underway. Not multitasking. I mean, he does do it sometimes, but I guess he's already had a play on this circuit. It's Jack Smith. Jack, well done on the win, and certainly after the race 1 contact, you've not put a wheel wrong at all, have you? Races 2 and 3, extended the championship, 61-point lead going into the last round. So a satisfactory evening, I'm guessing.
Yes, that's right. I think, yeah, it'll do. Could have been better. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, I think it was about as good as I could have got out of that. Really, it was. Yeah, I mean, I had the pace, I had to use it, and yeah, I think I did well to get those results out of it, and yeah, nearly came away with maximum points there, which would have been amazing. But yeah, to come away with what we did today is pretty amazing in itself. So yeah, I'm super happy. I just hope we have the pace for next week. Well, that's the thing. I've got to try my best to race home from Alton Park on Tuesday evening. So it'll be the race before the race for me. Hopefully I can get back in time. So yeah, just to add to the stress of a championship finale, I've got to get across the country. So
what's happening at Alton? Are you working with your real world team?
Yeah, with Century Motorsport, data engineering for them in a minute. So yeah, we've got a test day at Alton, and it's just so happens to fall on a Tuesday. So yeah, I'll try my best, but yeah, we'll see what we can do. But yeah, it'll be funny. Either way, it'll be fun. So yeah.
Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? So but you got a little bit of a cushion, haven't you, with the 60 points? What's that, one race, is it? So would it be sort of come in and join in after race? Will you come in and sort of sign in late, or actually does that become your drop score? I can't remember where we are, Jake.
No, I've got a DNS. Yeah, so it would be points off the board for me. So yeah, I need to see if I can get back as soon as possible. Yeah, and if it means I miss one race, and hopefully Rich will let me join midway through. But we'll have to see how that works out. But yeah, we'll see when it comes to it. I'll try my best to be there though. Don't really want to lose the championship because of that. It's a bit of a sad way to lose a championship, really, isn't it? So yeah, I will try my best.
Just blame Nathan Freak, can't we? If
Yeah, just blame Nath. Just come on, mate.
I haven't seen Nathan for ages, actually. I must admit.
Yeah, me and him were stuck in the steward's office for ages after the first round with an issue the stewards didn't like, which ended up not being an issue, which is always nice. So yeah, lovely.
Who would want to be a steward? Though I definitely, people that clerks and stewards, I just definitely couldn't do it. And yeah, it's the queues outside the clerks. So the worst queues are minis. The mini championship, and I've come touring car week. Everything is written down in pencil now because you inevitably have to rub it out and change it. But yeah, it's actually the worst bit about race. I was chatting to a guy at the weekend in the Legends, Ross Marshall, who won on the Saturday at Donington on the touring car meeting, and then got it taken away. And I said to him, Ross, you had the win on Saturday. He goes, "Oh, it got taken away from me." I said, "Yeah, but the fans saw you win." And everyone that went home saw the double Scottish Championship Scottish champion win a race. Nobody knows what happened in the So I think there's a lot of that, isn't there, about what people see stays with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing for me. My first ever race in a car was back in 2022, and I got PT. I was racing against Kevin Clark of all people in
Kevin Clark.
Kevin Clark, yeah, in his E46. Yeah, it was mental. I was so close to getting a win. I was leading for a little bit after the pit stops. He got me in traffic. I didn't really fancy having a little bit of an off, so I was just like sort of chasing him down. And yeah, by the end of it, I got pulled into the steward's office and got DQ'd for overtaking under yellow. And when I went to the steward's office, I couldn't see a yellow flag anywhere in the video they were showing me, but apparently it was there, and I got DQ'd for it. So yeah, it's just one of them. It's like the ups and downs. I came in literally crying because it was my first ever race and finished P2, and I was like beside myself, and then literally just stripped away straight away. So it is just one of them. But,
was Kevin the winner of that one then? Was he the?
Yeah. Overall winner of that
Kevin's
one,
an absolute legend. I mean, he won. He was in Eurocar. I think he won the pickup truck championship and the V8 championship on the same day. He was in both. 98, 99. I still love seeing him. He's quite a character. He could tell you a few stories if you get in the bar with him. I don't know how you get on with him race wise, but yeah, definitely worth having on your side for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, you did well then. If you were second to Kev,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, it was a good race. Okay, I was side by side with Kevin. I went around the outside of him at T1. I think I caught him off guard a little bit.
Who's
With
this
a novice plate on the back of the car. Everyone probably thinking, what the hell is this? But he got me back quite quickly, and he was quality to race against. But yeah, racing for you.
Quality driver. Nice one, great. So we could talk stories all night. Anyway, well done on the win, the gold medal, and you've left us with a cliffhanger because we're gonna have to wait and see whether you make it in time for next week. So that's quite a good way of wrapping up our program, really, out on the cliffhanger.
We'll have to see if Rich can set up a webcam in my car so you can see how much I'm sweating on the M62 driving back over the jack cam mid-race.
Video evidence of you speeding and dangerous driving on the way home.
I'll see what I can do.
Oh, very well done, mate. And go and get yourself a pint of the hot, Kevin.
Nice one, yeah, Lee. I'll be around in a minute. Just a quick shout out to everyone watching. My family's watching inside, and my girlfriend's back on as well. A couple of my mates watching from their homes as well, and of course Lee is watching. He said he was gonna slag us off this time because we had a bit of a he came around for a barbecue and he wasn't best pleased when I took a picture of him that he didn't quite like. So I'll be checking the chat in the stream afterwards. But yeah, I'll be around tomorrow, Lee. So I'll see if it's ready when I get there.
Excellent stuff, Jack. Have a good one with Century next week, and look forward to seeing you. All the best, mate. Well done.
Nice one. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
And Rich is here in the. But we're gonna chat GT before we disappear.
Yeah, we can do. Yeah. It's sign-ups looking very good. I think we're at 21 drivers so far. We're still with a couple of weeks left to go. So yeah, it's everybody. The spread of cars. Drivers have still got a week and a half to decide which car they're going to drive. But at the moment, we've had 10 drivers commit, and it's a very even spread at the moment. We've got 4 Astons. Actually, it's more than 10. We've got 4 Astons. Yeah, it's 11. 4 Astons, 4 BMWs, and 3 McLarens at the moment. So very equal. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yep, it should be good. I'll have to let you know if there. I think I'm down for all the dates at the moment. There might be one or two. Cool. I might have to disappear out. And as I alluded to earlier on, we might have a couple of guest comms as well. But talking of guest comms, thanks to Becky again for last week. And why Becky was nervous about doing interviews, I don't know, because she is top.
It's just the first time, eh?
Yeah,
first time nerves.
Yeah, absolutely top job. So thank you, Becky. Thanks, Rich, as well, and to Ian Danahan. Steve Allen doing a super job. I haven't really spoken to Steve this evening. Apologies for that, Steve. But thanks ever so much for what you've done. And Becky, look forward to catching up with you in the World Endurance League at some point. But happy tap dancing and whatever you're doing, and maybe bump into you at a track as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've got a couple of dates in mind. So yeah, I'll be hopefully at a track soon. Get the withdrawal symptoms blown away. But yeah, been a great series so far. So yeah, I'll be definitely tuning in next week. Probably to catch the last race and then catch up with all the rest at the end of it as well. So good luck to everybody. I'm sure it will be another great race of a great night of racing. Sorry, shall I say? Next week. So yeah, I'll be catching up.
Nice one. Thanks again, Becky. Always a pleasure, and look forward to seeing you. Hopefully with your other half at racetrack as well.
Yeah, I might bring him.
So you might. You're not, or you are.
I might. Well, he normally makes me late, you see. So.
Well, it's a good opportunity to get some brownie points back. So.
But he is a good driver, so I probably should take him.
That'd be good to all meet up. But yeah, thanks again, Becky. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed the penultimate round. One more to go on the touring cars before we have a little break, and it's Circuit Ricardo Tormo. Those of you who've got access to the server will see Andy Dorman busy getting in some practice already to try and add to his driver of the round. But I'm not going to say any more. Time to go. Give my voice a break. Don't forget ITV at the weekend, and we're back with VRRC. Same place next Tuesday. Thanks for watching. Be nice to everybody, and we'll see you soon. Cheerio.
Between the two of them.
The inside of Coates.
Watkins gets too heavily involved.
And that's Whitehead and Coates.